Hello everyone, welcome back to another live stream. So today we have a special live stream. I have with me my friend Stephen. Let me put him here. Hello Stephen. Thank you for accepting my invitation to do the live stream. So our topic for today is talking about the challenge to be Christians, being young and Christian in nowadays. And I invited Steven, that is also a content creator. and we are from the same church. So thank you, Stephen, for coming. Um, I don't know who is watching the live stream. Please, you can say hello. You are free to ask questions also. So before we starting talking about uh, the topics, I have a icebreaker for people to get to know Stephen a little bit better. So my first question is this one. So Stephen, feel free to answer. Favorite Bible verse, if you have one.
That is a good one. I think a recent one, I think for me is Hebrews 4:15, and it reads, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weakness, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin." I think that one has really stood out to me recently to like understand that like, oh wow, like Jesus can relate to me even when I feel like I'm not strong, but in that weakness, that's when like the power of God can be elevated. Like he can elevate me in life.
Awesome. So second question, coffee or tea?
I have to say I'm a coffee person for sure. Like either a cappuccino or like a iced latte, either or. Like it depends on the season.
Yeah, me too, me too. I'm a coffee person also. I think this one I know the answer, but workout or rest day?
Oh, for sure. Definitely workout. Doing what is a good question. Like I like to lift, but I also like to play basketball. See, this might be controversial, but leg day, like
Nice, nice.
just get on a leg press, just load up a bunch of weights and have at it.
So favorite sport?
Oh no, definitely basketball for sure.
Yeah,
I've been playing basketball since I believe fourth or fifth grade. Just growing up watching it, playing in different tournaments, even playing against like future NBA players. Like I used to play travel basketball. That was quite interesting, I would say.
awesome. And last question, one word that describes your faith journey right now.
I would say right now in my faith journey, it's the foundation, like going through the process of like excavating so I can like build a firm foundation for my entire faith journey. Because it's easy, I feel like, especially being young, to like want to rush into this and try to build it up as fast as you can, but it's not something that's solid, not something that's lasting. So really trying to build a lasting faith journey starting now and let over mature over time.
Awesome. So right now I'm gonna give you some time to present yourself. What are you doing right now? Also, you can talk a little bit about your social media, and the other thing was how you became a Christian. Yeah. So the stage is yours. Feel free to to talk.
Well, hello, thank you for that nice introduction. I'm Stephen Kershaw. Right now, I'm a senior at Carnegie Mellon, studying business administration, concentrating in marketing, and pursuing a media design minor. I started creating content around high school, surrounded sneaker business I had at the time. And slowly but surely, that kind of developed into developing my own personal brand on social media. I remember going back to my freshman year of college. I was on my phone for too much, and it was getting in the way of me studying. So I figured, hey, like, why not, make some videos of me studying, and from there, just going into more lifestyle content, and then also now expressing my faith on that platform. That's been like a recent development over the past, give or take 2 to 3 years. And then I would say that I grew up in a Christian household, so going to church, pretty much every Sunday that I could, as a kid. But I think now being in college, I've really taken the time to explore and develop my faith, ensuring that I have that foundational understanding, and then also to what my faith will look like in the future and how I can express my faith towards other people. I think has been like a recent development for me to like expressing my faith and then also to sharing it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So people can be free to ask questions during our discussion. But yeah, we can dive into our first topic. There is what are the challenges that young Christians have today, and you can talk about in general, but also you can give like experience of yourself, like a challenge that you had or you are having right now, about being a Christian, a young Christian in today's world.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, I think as a young Christian, it's like your identity, like what you find your identity in. And I think growing up, it's easy to find identity in your work. I know for me, something that I always pride myself on is, academics. So, honors class this, Peacemaker Award this, National Honor Society this. And it's so easy to get caught up in that saying, okay, like I am good because this is like, these are all the things that I can do. Like look at my resume. But I hit a wall when I came to CMU my freshman year when I wasn't, performing as well as I thought I would. And I was like, oh, maybe there is more to life than just academics. I mean, although I did think there was more, I just never really got a chance to explore that. But through that process, knowing that I'm not defined by my works and that my identity is a child of God, and because of that, He deems me worthy enough, and through Him, and that I can do all things. That it's been like pretty much this entire like college journey, like accepting that.
Yeah, for me, I never went to college, so I don't have this experience of being very focused on our in the study and everything. But one thing when I was a little bit younger, um, was a challenge for me. Um, was like some bad company that I had with me, some friends that they weren't really my friends, or even um, social media and internet that can make us forget our goal and our focus, and it's very easy to drift away from our path that is with Jesus. So I don't know if you want to add a little thing more about this, about how social media can be dangerous for young Christians.
I definitely agree that it can, be very dangerous, in a sense that there is like a culture, like multiple cultures that exist on social media, and unfortunately, a good portion of them not the best. And it's like I think it's easy to want to like conform to what are popular trends happening at the time. But that kind of reminds me of another Bible verse like I kind of think about. It's like Romans like 2. Um, Romans, what was it? I think it's Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed by this world, but be transformed by the new renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So like that's like another thing kind of coming into college is that like everyone's kind of doing, I guess, their own thing, doing whatever kind of is pleasing to them, but taking into account like, is this what God would want me to do? And it's easy to kind of go with the paths of like, the people around us, but it's better to just follow what the Bible says. And it's not easy to do, at a given take when everyone else is saying, hey, like you should do this, you should do that.
Yeah, yeah. Another challenge for me when I was younger and when I was studying was me for me was like sharing the gospel. I'm from Portugal, so it's a different um, it's a different background and a different culture. Like here in America, it's very different. And in Portugal, I feel like people are afraid to share their faith um, because they can be mocked. And when I was younger, I felt that a lot. I was afraid to share my faith because I was afraid to get mocked. Um, yeah, but that was in Portugal, and I believe here people are more open to what others think, I guess. Um, so yeah, you can share how is like being in college and the challenge to share your faith with others.
Mm. Yeah, it's a good point that you bring that up because I've always believed that there is a God and that I submit my life to Him. However, like in my speech, that hasn't really come out until I think give or take the beginning of my junior year. So there were a lot of people that I met during my freshman year, and it was almost like a surprise that I was a Christian. And I was like, oh, like maybe I should, start sharing my faith with others and start, inviting my friends to church because funny enough, like last year, one of my friends from freshman year joined the church that we go to. And I was like, oh wow, like that was the missed opportunity where I could have, shared my faith, my testimony with this person and maybe could have, come to Christ sooner. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So I think we can jump to the next topic that is how can we stay strong in our faith during these times as young adults, young Christians, and we are seeing from the last days for what is happening with Charlie Kirk, and all this shooting that I believe a lot of young Christians, not only Christians, even people that have different beliefs, two things can happen. Probably people will be more afraid to talk about what they believe. Um, and in the other hand, I believe there are going to be people that are going to have more boldness to share what they believe. But yeah, I don't know if you want to give like an opinion about this, about what could happen for the next times after what happened in the last days, what could impact our um, college students for the next times.
Yeah, I mean it's really sad to see, someone be killed in broad daylight like that. And I always find that during these times, when like a major instance like this, situation like this happens, it's very polarizing. You have different sides, and they kind of go at it. And I think I do agree with what you're saying that like some people it might cause them to not be that vocal, and for other people it might cause them to be vocal. But I think the most important idea here is like to stay strong in your faith is really to have a community. Um, and I think that really starts with having a church community, being in fellowship with one another, not just studying the word by yourself. I know because I've seen that before where some social media, like you'll see that people say, oh, like, you don't need community, you don't need church. But I was like, in the Bible, it says that we were made to be in community, live in community with one another.
Yeah, one verse that is came to my mind these last days was Joshua 1:9 that says, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And this passage came from um, a point in the life of Joshua where Moses died,
Mhm.
and he saw himself without his leader. Um, and I believe it's what we are seeing today. I believe that Charlie was a leader for a lot of college students that were seeing him and following him. But yeah, I think the lesson for us is like was for Joshua. we for us that we are young Christians, we need to be strong and to be courageous, and don't forget that God is with us wherever we go. Um, and another verse is First Timothy 4:12 that says, "Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity." Um, yeah, and I believe a lot of people, or adults and older people, think that young people, they are just crazy, or they don't know how to think. Um, but for us as young Christians, we need to remember that we shouldn't let no one despise what we believe, and we should keep working on our relationship with Jesus and share the gospel with others and not be afraid. I don't know if you want to share a verse that came to your mind these last days or about this topic.
Oh, not really. I just like to keep, I think, faith and politics separate
Yeah, for sure.
for sure. So
Yeah,
definitely, I think approaching everything with through the lens of faith.
yeah. One thing that you said was very important is having a church, and for me, that what I felt that in Portugal, like I wasn't like bold to share my faith, or I was afraid because probably I didn't have people around me that could give me like could give me help to know how to share our faith. And in our church right now, I think, I don't know, it's completely different that I was used to in Portugal. Um, but it's a church that is very focused on the outreach, um, cares for the people inside, for the students that are inside of the church, but prepare the students for the outside and to share and to do outreach. And yeah, I believe you can probably share some experiences you have about doing some outreach in some in CMU or Pete. I don't know if you have some experience, any story that you have about doing the outreach.
Yeah, there's a lot I think to recall from, but I think most recently was Club Fair. So for those of you not familiar with CMU, every year out on the cut we have like a club fair. So a lot of clubs from CMU all get opportunity to table, and it's a big event, especially if you want to, kind of get your club out there and spread your different messages or different words. So I helped table for the church, and it was really interesting to really see how open people were about seeking or developing their faith. And I think it's nice to be able to have be in that position where I can help people find a church home and find a community, which is something that has been very pivotal to like my experience, especially starting my freshman year. That's how I found out about this church.
What is your? I think you can talk a little bit about your role in the church right now. I think you are doing some kind of mentoring to some students,
Mm.
right? Can you talk a little bit
Yes.
about that?
Yes. So right now I'm hosting weekly Bible studies on campus with some other student leaders, and then also to just getting to mentor freshmen one on one.
Yeah, that's awesome. How many students do you have in your group?
My group right now, let's see, just like two or three right now.
Okay, yeah,
I've
that's
got to
awesome.
start from somewhere.
Of course, yeah.
Mm.
Probably my last question is how, if you could say something to the young Christians today, what would you say? And what are your thoughts for the next times? And how hopeful are you for the next times about sharing the gospel and talking about Jesus?
I mean, I would say to, I think, really go all in on like developing your faith. I think something that's really important is, reading the word every day. May not make sense now, but later on you'll start to pick up on the different messages and different themes, and you'll start to see that the word is actually alive and active in your life, and it makes sense, and it really kind of changes your perspective on life. And I think that through that, knowing the word enables you to, be more confident about your faith and then expressing that towards others. And if you face affliction, like, don't take it personally. The word is convicting. You'll have one or two responses, those that accept it and those that reject it, and that's fine. You know, because we believe that our reward is in heaven, and we'll reach that someday.
Exactly. Yeah. Like says in Second Corinthians, our fight is not against the flesh, but against the spiritual realm. And yeah, thank you, Stephen, for coming and talking about this topic. I just want to end with a verse in James 1 2 to 4 that says, uh, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Yeah, I think this is very important for us, not only young Christians, but for everyone, to keep our eyes in Jesus and keep focus on the Bible and the biblical truth, and don't be afraid to share um, what we believe with others. Yeah, and that's it. I don't know. Probably right now we don't have anyone seeing the live. That's okay. The live
Mm.
is gonna stay on YouTube, so you can share with others after.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said it would be like half an hour, so we are almost on time. So thank you, Stephen,
Yep. Thank you
and
for having me.
yeah, God bless you.
Thank you, you too.
So that's it. That was our live today. It was short but very important. Yeah, I hope you guys, the ones that saw, enjoyed it. Um, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Also, if you want to see Steven content, this is YouTube and Instagram. Follow him also and subscribe to his channel. And see you next time.